Hello everyone. Now we are going to see the topic environmental ethics and issues under the course name Environmental Studies. Environmental ethics is a branch of philosophy that studies the moral relationship between humans and the natural environment. Actually, it deals with the ethical responsibilities we have towards the earth and its ecosystem and all living beings. So humans are not only the only ones who matters. So the nature, animal, plants, and even the rivers or forest have value and deserve respect. Why this environmental ethics is important? So it will promote the sustainable development, encourages responsible uses of natural resources, helps in fighting the climate change, pollution, and biodiversity loss, shapes the environmental laws and policies. What will be the purpose of this particular environmental ethics means it guides how individuals, community, and government should use, conserve, and protect natural resources responsibly. And the core values will be promoting the sustainability. We should respect the nature and the intergenerational justice and ecological balance. So this particular environmentics will address the issues in the climate change, deforestation, pollution, biodiversity loss, and also the resource exploitation. So coming to the core principles of environmental ethics, so the intrinsic value of the nature is so it will be beyond the usefulness to the humans. All living and non-living elements have inherent value. And coming to the sustainability, so this resource should be used in a proper manner and that way meet present needs without compromising the ability of future generation to meet their needs. And interconnectedness. All components of the environment are interconnected and we should not harm any part. If we harm any one of the part, automatically other parts will also get damaged and that will collapse the whole system. And stewardship, so the humans have a responsibility to take care of this particular environment and to protect the environment as a custodians of the earth. And also we want to be very justiceful and we want to give fair distribution to all the environmental benefits and burdens, ensuring vulnerable communities are not disappropriately affected. Precautionary principles, we want to respect the biodiversity and we want to protect the diversity of the life forms, and we should not pollute the environment. So if we pollute the environment, automatically it will cause damage to our only because we are using the resources which is present in the environment. What will the major environmental issues? First thing will be the climate change, second is deforestation, third is pollution, and the pollution may be of different types: air, water, and soil, and loss of the biodiversity and over exploitation of the resources. So these are the major environmental issues which we are following or facing in this particular. So next we are going to see about the climate change. So climate change is because of the main reason is the global warming. So the climate change can be referred to as a long-term changes in the earth climate, especially the rise of global temperatures due to the human activities like burning fossil fuels, deforestation, and industrial pollution. It is not just about the warmer weather, it affects the entire planet system, weather patterns, sea levels, ecosystem, agriculture, and human health. So, what will be the main causes for the climate change? So, greenhouse gases. So, the greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide, methane, and nitrous oxide will trap heat in the atmosphere and causes global warming. And burning the fossil fuels using coal, oil, and gas for electricity and transport results in the release of carbon dioxide. Deforestation. Trees absorb carbon dioxide, cutting them down increases the carbon in the air. Industrial pollution. So the factories emit greenhouse gases, harmful chemicals. Agriculture, cattle produces methane, fertilizers emit nitrous oxide. So what will be the effects of the climate change? So rise in the average temperature, coastal flooding and loss of islands, more heat waves, storms, droughts, extinctions of the species, damaged ecosystem, reduced crop yields, food insecurity, heat stroke, spread of diseases like malaria will be there. Global impact due to the climatic change. So what will be the mitigation strategies? So we want to switch to the renewable energy, reforestation, energy efficiency, reduce, reuse, recycle, triple R, sustainable transport, and international agreements. So, in simple, the climate change is the Earth warning sign. Human actions are overheating the planet, and we must act now to cool it down. So, next is the deforestation. So, deforestation is meant to be the large scale removal of the forest, often resulting in land degradation and habitat loss. So, this due to the this deforestation, so the agriculture expansion, urbanization, logging, mining, and infrastructure development will be made, but we will lose the forest area. So, due to this deforestation, so the impact which is seen in the environment is we will lose most of the biodiversity, and the water cycles will be disrupted, and mainly the soil erosion will be there. So this deforestation will also impact on the climate change. So this will reduce its carbon sequestration, contributing to global warming and the climate change. So social effects, it will affect the indigenous communities and reduces availability of forest-based resources. So when coming to the economic factors, often driven by the demand for the timber, palm oil, and other commodities, but solution for this deforestation is reforestation or afforestation, sustainable forestry practice, and to maintain a standard conversion, conservation and conversion laws. So next we are going to see about the environmental pollutions. So environmental pollution is a contamination of the natural environment by harmful substances or activities. So it affects air, water, soil, and even sound, causing damage to the ecosystem, human health, and the planet as a whole. So what will be the types of the environmental pollution? So first is the air pollution, water pollution, soil pollution, noise pollution, thermal pollution, and radioactive pollution. So in the air pollutions, so it will be majorly by the vehicle exhaust, factories burning the fossil fuels. So for water pollution, the industrial waste, sewage, oil spills, and the plastic pollution. Soil pollution because of the usage of more amount of pesticides, chemical waste, landfill dumping, and noise pollution, traffic, constructions, and usage of loudspeakers. Thermal pollution using the hot water from the industries into the rivers, like that, and radioactive pollution, nuclear plants, accidents, and medical waste will be the main causes and major types of the pollution. So what will be the causes of these pollution is, so the rapid industrialization, over pollution and urbanization, deforestation, overuse of plastics and chemicals, the lack of environmental regulations or enforcements. So what will be the effect of environmental pollution? So on humans, so it will gives a plenty of diseases and infections like respiratory diseases, waterborne illnesses, stress, anxiety, and long-term health risks also. On the nature, it will give loss of biodiversity, soil infertility, disturbed ecosystem, climate change due to the air pollutions. And how we can prevent and control these pollutions? So first, we can reduce the use of plastic and single-use products, and we can plant more trees to get the clean air and to stabilize the soil, and we can use public transport instead of using a single man in a single car, like that, and we can walk or cycle instead of private cars, and we want to treat the industrial waste before releasing it, and we want to conserve the water and the electricity, and we want to promote the recycling and waste segregation methods, and strictly we want to follow and enforce the environmental laws also. So when we concern into the global things, so pollution is a transboundary issue which is affecting the air, water, and the ecosystem, and if the ecosystem is get affected, automatically the humankind will be also get affected. So the next issue in this world is the loss of biodiversity. So the loss of biodiversity means decline or extinction of different species of plants and animals and other organisms from the earth. It also includes the destruction of ecosystem and the loss of genetic variety within the species. So biodiversity is important because it keeps nature in balance. Every species plays a role in the health of a planet. So what will be the causes of the biodiversity loss? Deforestation, urbanization, agriculture, pollution, climate change, overexploitation, and invasive species. When we take about the deforestation, so we are cutting down the forest and destroying the habitats. That comes under the deforestation. Urbanization, expanding the cities, replace natural areas. Agriculture, monoculture farming reduces varieties in the species. And air and water, soil pollutions will kill the plants and animals. And altering habitats and migration patterns, overfishing, hunting, and poaching reduces the populations. Non-native species can also outcompete native ones. What will be the effect of the biodiversity loss? So we will face the ecosystem imbalance, extinction of the species, food security will be in the risk, loss of medicinal resources. We will weaken the natural defense mechanisms. So, how we will conserve or how we will prevent this particular biodiversity loss? We want to protect the forests and the natural habitats. We want to create and follow the wildlife conservation laws. We want to support the sustainable agriculture fishing. We want to reduce pollution plastic uses. We want to plant native trees and flowers. We want to educate the people about the importance of the biodiversity, and we want to support protected areas like natural parks and the sanctuaries. So next we are moving to the 5 to 6 environmental summits, which plays a major role in the environmental ethics and the issues. The first is the Stockholm conferences. So Stockholm conferences, which was established in the 1972, in the first UN conference, which is solely focused on the environment. And this laid a foundation for the global environmental governance, which leads to the creation of UN environmental program called at UNEP. So the next summit was the Earth Summit, which was held in the Rio de Janeiro. It is also called as the UN Conference of Environmental Development, UNCED. So this particular summit is focused on the sustainable development concepts and produced key documents like Agenda 21 and the Rio Declaration. The third one for the Kyoto Protocol in the year 1997. So it is an international treaty committing countries to reduce the greenhouse gas emissions. And this protocol has set a legally binding targets for developing nations to the combat climate change. So the next agreement is held in the Paris in the year 2015. So this particular agreement shows the global pact to limit global warming to well below 2 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels. And this agreement encourages all countries to make voluntary emission reduction commitments and enhance climate resilience. And the last one will be the COP Summit, Conference of Parties. So the annual UN climate change conferences where parties review progress and negotiate further commitment under treaties like UNFCCC. So one of the best example includes COP21. So the Paris Agreement, ongoing yearly meeting to advance the climatic actions. So what will be the possible solutions to solve these types of environmental issues? Means first we want to shift to the renewable energies. So the usage of the renewable energy should be more than usage of the non-renewable resources. And we want to maintain a sustainability in the agriculture and the forestry. So if you are cutting a one tree, so we want to plant 10 trees. Pollution control measures. So these pollution control measures will start from an individual persons, not from a society or a government. So the individual person is responsible for controlling the pollutions, and they want to be very aware of what they are using and what they are throwing into the environment. And we want to conduct many conservation programs and should give awareness to all the people from the children to the elder people. And we want to make strong laws and policies regarding to the environment, which will be helpful in protecting these environment from these types of changes and destroying the ecosystem, and we can prevent the environment. So first we will see detail about the shift of the renewable energy, that is transition from fossil fuels like coal, oil, natural gases to the renewable sources such as solar, wind, hydro, and geothermal power. Next is maintaining the sustainability in the agriculture and forestry. So practices that maintain productivity while preserving ecosystem health. And also we want to involve ourselves in the responsible logging, reforestation, and conservation to maintain the forest ecosystems. And we want to control the pollution by reducing or eliminating the pollutants which release into the air, water, and also the soil. And we want to contact the conservation programs, initiatives aimed at protecting and restoring the natural habitats. This is a main thing for protecting the environment and also the ecosystem. And the stronger environmental policies, so laws, regulations, guidelines should be implemented by the government to safeguard the environment. And these policies should enforce standard for pollution control, natural resource management, climate action, and sustainable development. When these policies is very stronger, automatically every individual will follow the rules and regulations which is given by the government and also the environment protective organizations. What will be the role of technologies in preserving this particular environmental things? So green technology for clean energy, waste recycling innovations, remote sensing for the environmental monitoring. So pollution monitoring, renewable energy solutions, waste management, sustainable resource source, and awareness and education should be there to the each and every individuals by having the sensors and AI track for pollution, air, water, and the soil quality. And we want to use the solar, wind, and hydro technologies. And we want to have the recycling systems in all the buildings and all the places. And we want to have the precision agriculture and smart irrigation processes. And we want to use digital platforms, spread knowledge, and encourage ethical environmental practices. So public awareness strategies like education programs, social media campaigns, community cleanup drives, and eco-friendly product promotion should be there. So this will give awareness to the public on this particular environmental ethics and the issues, so that we can provide the eco-friendly environment to everyone. So how important of the public participation? So the public participation in all these awareness strategies is very important, because we are interlinked with the economic sustainability, social, and the environmental things. So economy will be covered by the society, society will be covered by the environment. So all these will be balanced, and it will give the sustainable life to ourselves. Engaging communities to ensure the long-term success of environmental conservation initiatives. So in the future outlook, we will have a green, clean environment, and we want to see the global in a natural way. So global cooperation, so the youth should be always engaged in the protective and the conserve of the environment, and the policy should be reformed for the betterment of the policies and laws, and adaptation of the circular economy should be there. So always we have to the future, we should look beyond the circle, and we want to protect the environment. So to conclude this, environmental ethics emphasize that all the individuals, communities, governments, and organizations share a collective responsibility to safeguard the natural resources and ecosystem, ensuring a healthy and sustainable planet for both present and future generations. So environmental ethics is a branch that will give to a better tree where we can all live together, and we can protect our environment in a much, much, much more better way. So thank you all for listening to this particular topic. Thank you.